Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of our rhythm tutorials. And now we're going to do something, I don't know, 2 against 3. In the past 2 episodes, we have looked at 3 against 2. We had an 8th note grid, a subdivision of 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and then we placed a motif, if you want, of 3 subdivisions against the 2 that we needed, and we looked at how that sounded, what kind of rhythms that created. And now we do the opposite, 2 against 3. What does it mean? Against 3, first of all, means we now need a subdivision of 3, a grid of 3, and that is our triplets, okay? And I've written it down in all the ways that we have had in the past tutorials. Here is the graph. Each big blue dot is a beat. The small ones are the subdivisions, and here I have written how we usually count that. So it is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and etc. And up here is the music notation of this grid for those who read music. All of this should sound familiar, and if it's not, you can go back to the tutorials that we have recorded before. So this is our grid, this is what we do something against, or that we do something in, and we're looking for a motif, a duration that does not run parallel to these 3, so that there will be some suspense, right? And the smallest duration that will have a good result is 2. If we do something for the duration of 2 of these subdivisions, it will not fit and make it more interesting. So I'm just going to draw it here, 2 circles. I'm going to color this one to mark it as the beginning. If these were claps, for example, maybe I'm just making the first one a little bit louder. And then I repeat this little motif of 2 subdivisions, 2 digits if you want. And if I repeat this, just drawing it here now, I can see that the beginning, marked by the full orange dot, always falls onto a different position in the grid. So in the beginning here, it is right on a beat. Then the second time it comes around, it's on the 8th note triplet just before the beat. Then the third time it comes around, it's on the and just after the beat. And then we're back and we hit the beat again, and this pattern repeats. So we always have these units of 2 subdivisions, and since they are placed over these units of 3 that we have organized our grid into, we call this 2 against 3. Okay? Now this is a lot of theory, but you will see it's a very satisfying feeling to do it in the body, in the dance, or in the music. And we will try and do it. Let's say we do it with let's do it with claps. We can do it with anything that has the duration of 2 digits, right? Let's do like clap for now. So first of all, we need our triplet grid, and I'm just going to organize this inside like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And in here, I want to place the accents according to what's written on the board. So it'll be like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Right? If this is not immediately accessible to you, if this feels difficult, try and do it so slow that you can really easily do it and check the coordination. It will get faster by itself. But it's really, I think it's really important to get it, to understand it fully and feel comfortable while doing it, and it's not a problem to do it very, very slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I think it's a good idea to do it so slow that I can really feel which of the loud claps is falling onto a step and when is it in an offbeat, and how does this relate, like what's the dance feeling that comes with it, okay? And then the speed will come by itself. Obviously, we can also do this in the taps. For example, if we step and a heel, that would make 2 sounds, right? And that would be an easy way to do this exercise with the taps. So I have to now be aware of the grid inside, right? Because I'm not executing it with the steps anymore. It's just like in my mind. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, right? So it's really important to know what's happening inside, because if I came into the room and I heard somebody do this, and there was no other information, surely I would think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and that would be wrong. Because what I'm doing is I have a grid of triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Obviously, as always, if we want to make sure we're staying with the right subdivision and we have the beat in the right place, we will do it with a click. So, if this is my click, the subdivision in 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 1 and 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1. Okay? So, just as we did in the tutorial of 3 against 2, we do not have to actually make a sound for all of these digits. In fact, in this case, all of these digits, it's a very strange way of saying it because there is only 2, right? So we can also, I'm going to erase this to make more room. We can also use pauses now. And if we decide to, out of the pattern of 2, to just do the first one, what we're left with will be this, right? Not much left. If there's only 2 options and we kill one of them, there's not much left. But this will be a rhythmic pattern that you might recognize more easily. If I do it, I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, etc. Right? So I'm basically hitting every second 8th note triplet. If I do it with a click, it will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? And obviously we can dance this. Zakati takata bakati tukati. Okay, again, it's good to practice this slow so that we can really feel it and really have the satisfaction of hitting the 1 and the 3 in this particular example. On the theoretical side, it's really good to know that we are now hitting every second 8th note triplet, and the music theory way to write this down would be to use quarter notes as a symbol and mark these as triplets. and it is what we call the quarter note triplets. Okay, this is just a theoretical knowledge. It doesn't really help doing it, but it's good to understand the concept, because very likely you have heard this, or you will hear it at some point working with musicians, and if we talk about quarter note triplets, that's what that is, right? It's every other eighth note triplet. So when we were looking at the 3 against 2, we had all sorts of variations that we were able to come up with. In this case, there are not so many variations that are possible because we only have those 2 choices. But what we could do is, instead of erasing every other one in the middle here, we can erase the first ones. That's the only other choice that we have, right? And now clamp these rhythms, and interestingly, although it's almost identical, it feels all different. The feeling is very different. Basically, I'm doing quarter note triplets again, but now I'm not starting them on the 1, I'm starting them on the and, right? And that just feels all different. So it'll be like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 4, etc. So explore this, and you will feel, to me it feels much more beautiful somehow, because it has more mystery to it. And especially if you choose to not do the 4, it's just really cool. It's just like a hovering rhythm over the pattern of the triplets. But that's like a long story. And if you want, you can also start the same pattern on this last triplet here, the last of the 3, on the and it'll be like this. And this is actually something we have done before, because it's really what we've done in the beginning. I'm just not clapping on the 1, right? So it's pretty much the same thing, but it still feels different, just because we do not do the 1. I understand that this sounds like a lot of theory, and it really does not make a lot of sense unless we dance it. But dancing it to a swing music, a slow swing music, will be an insight experience. It doesn't make a lot of, it doesn't do much if I do it on video, no, because everything that's happening and everything that is happiness and about it is on the inside, so you will not have a great experience watching me having fun. I suggest, if you like, to put some slow swing music and trying to dance these things. It's not much of a dance, I guess, it'll just be steps or something, but you will be going 1, 2, 3, 4, and it can be with any step, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And just feel the beauty of how it pulls your insides apart and they come together on the beat or on the 1. It's just, it's a good thing. It makes swing interesting. Okay, so this is 2 against 3, and I hope it was understandable. Wow.